Question is, okay, let me think here. Why do you think, um, first of all, why do you think we, and you can say, no, I don't want to answer that. Why do you think we overeat when we're not hungry?
Well, personally think if I think about myself, why do I overeat? I overeat because I'm upset. I want to feel comforted. I'm with family, friends. I'm at a gathering. I want to kind of be there with them, be present. And I feel like if everyone's holding a plate and they're like, Beth, go get food, go get food. And I'm just like, I'm not hungry. But then they'll be like, oh, come on. There's a little bit of pressure. But I
Hmm.
think a lot of times I overeat when I'm feeling upset or frustrated with a child or my husband, or
Yeah,
it's just a habit. What about you?
yeah, same. I think in the beginning it was uncontrollable, not uncontrollable. I just wasn't aware of that, right? And so um, I just didn't, I wasn't aware. And then once I became aware, it almost became more frustrating that I was still doing it, right? You get to the
Mm.
point of awareness and then you're doing it, and then you kind of go down a different path. But now I feel like, yes, if I choose to overeat, it's my choice. And I notice like others that aren't as aware of their thoughts, they are overeating out of boredom usually. Like my kids, they're bored or it's habit. The TV turns on and they're like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
For our culture, it's a lot of a social fun thing. I think people will eat, like you said, out of pressure.
Yeah.
It's there and they don't want to turn it down or be rude. And so I think there's just a lot of, yeah, pressure, social expectations, and maybe that unawareness. So,
Well, and I think too, there's traditions tied to it. Like, I just drove Bailey to college, and on the way home, I was with two women, and we were talking about how when they drive, they want to eat, like they want to nibble, like they want to have something. So they'll stop at a convenience store, grab some treats. I mean, it's just like, or you get on a plane and you feel like you need to sit and eat some nuts and candy or gummies or whatever it is. And I think the way that, I mean, I've been working on this for a long time, but
right.
one of the things that I do is like if I feel frustrated, like the other night, I felt really frustrated with one of our kids. And I literally walked straight into the kitchen. I went to the corner cupboard. I was going to get my chocolate chips and marshmallows. And I was
Beth.
like, I was like, what am I doing? This has nothing to do with this. This is just me trying to find a little bit of peace of mind because I'm ready to like
Rattle someone.
lose my head. Yeah. So I just stopped. I'm like, no, you literally don't even want this. Just step away from it. Just walk away.
Right.
So
I
a lot of
agree
it's
completely.
habit building. It's just changing your thoughts and reconfiguring your situation so that you're not just turning to food and overeating.
Yeah. And like as we've learned, the brain, because we've given it that habit, it is this like uncontrollable urge that until you're at that cabinet eating, sometimes you wouldn't even be aware. You just knew your brain was like, you are so upset. I know it makes you happy. Go there right now. And you're like, go. Okay, got it. I feel like, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
But anyway, so that's what I feel like happens is it's that need to feel better, and food is a fast way to feel better, right? And it feels an emotion and a chemical at the same time.
Well, and I think too, I mean, I'm not taking away your responsibility and your accountability, but the food is literally engineered to make you want it and to leave you a bliss taste, a blissful point taste in your mouth from every company so that you want to taste that again and you want that feeling again. So a lot of it, people beat themselves up like, I don't have self control. I can't do this. And it's like, you're not only fighting your own head and your own habits and your own past, you are fighting companies that are making trillions of dollars a year, billions on food because they know that if they can get you to come back and eat it, then they're going to make more money.
Yeah.
And so, and on top of that is hormones. For
Yeah.
women, hormones. So if we're just speaking specifically to women, we are like up and down. Our
Scourge.
everything's changing every month for us.
Yeah.
So there's a lot playing into it, you know?
Yeah, there's trillions of dollars behind the science of our brain that they actually are using against us,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
and we know, like, as in the 80s when all those processed foods came out, I feel like that's kind of when that science like really peaked because they understood it. We thought we were doing good things by eating low fat and snacking all the time. And now it's literally just a habit that our brains have grabbed onto and they just want to continue that thing. We don't like to choose a new habit. That's
No.
hard. It's a new
Yeah.
thought, it's a new process. And so, perfect answers. Okay, so then why do you think we wait? Why do we wait to, hold on one second. I'm gonna, I can't get your view to be back on big. I can't figure out why. After that perfect time, or till our kids are grown up, or till the baby's not sick.
So why do we wait to work on ourselves or why do we wait to change our habits?
Yes.
Both.
Yeah. Let's start with why do we wait to work on ourselves?
Well, because being a parent is a very selfless act and you want to provide the most care and loving and teaching and you just pour your whole heart, soul, body, mind, everything into it. And honestly, it's it's not a top priority to be taking care of yourself as well, or because you
Yeah.
have these
Sorry.
little humans that are literally dependent upon you, and you know that you have a certain number of years to accomplish this task, and then at a certain point that they're really kind of on their own in the sense. And so you feel that, I mean, for me, I felt a huge responsibility. What about you?
Yeah, and I think too, I didn't have a lot of those great habits built in before I had children. I mean, when it was just me, yeah, I used to exercise all the time and it wasn't really a thing. But yeah, when all your time is taken up and you didn't know ahead of time to have priorities, and even if you had those priorities, someone threw up that morning, your gym your gym opportunity was canceled. And so I think it just becomes hard. You're tired. The parenting is all encompassing, it's selfless. And so for a long time, I think you tend to just give them you, all of you, right? And at a point, I think you get unbalanced and you kind of go, but I need to take care of myself, even if it's the dailies. But then that seems hard because you're in a pattern or a habit of not doing that. And when you try, someone throws up in the morning. Or I know I would get to the gym for a week and I'd be like, this is great. And then someone would get sick and we wouldn't be allowed back at the gym for 2 weeks. And so that was my excuse to fall back into old patterns, right? So yeah, I think it's mindset. I think it's patterns. And I think it's just a challenge of something we have to learn.
Well, and I know I'll speak for myself. I was an extremely active young adult or young teenager, young child. I mean, constantly nonstop, go, 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 go. Tomboy, did everything my brothers did. When Matt and I got married and started having children, you know, I literally, that was just my entire focus. And if I had a break, because we have 6 kids, I literally would take a nap for
Yeah, sleep.
a really quick second, or I'd be trying to figure out about a meal, or I'd be trying to help somebody in my calling that I was serving. And then when Gannon, our sixth, when I had him in 2010, I told Matt in January of 2012, I need to start taking care of myself. I need to have a physical outlet for my therapy. That's my
Mm-hmm.
therapy. So that's when I made a very conscious decision to start. But then again, what did I do? I started getting up at 5 a.m. and going to my class at 5:30 a.m. and racing home by 6:45 a.m. so I could get the family up and going. So
Yeah,
there's just things that you have to choose. And to me, that was of great importance. So
it was worth it.
Yeah.
finally, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so then why which question did we answer? Why do we wait to take care of ourselves? Why do we wait? Okay, so let's say we're at a period of our lives where we're taking care of ourselves, or we have more time. And like most of us, like most of us, we say, this is my year, I'm going back to the gym, and yet we still wait. Or we get on a pattern. I guess we kind of already answered this, but we still continue to wait. Or we have a weekend where there was a birthday, or we were out of town, and we're going to start on Monday and we're going to eat good. But then Monday comes and we maybe do great at breakfast, lunch, dinner, we blow it, or we get frustrated. I was just talking to someone the other day, and they let the whole week go because there's another Monday. What, why?
Well, first of all, I think we as human beings have a very hard time remembering. Like we do, we forget within days. We forget the benefits we felt from going on a walk or taking. The other thing I
That's a good
think
point.
for women is we don't find things we love. Okay. So, for example, I love to lift weights. Most women do not like to lift weights. I love to walk. I love to ride a stationary bike. My daughter loves to swim. My other daughter loves Pilates and bar. Like you have to find what you love. You can't do what other people say. This is where because if you love it, you'll stay with it. And then I have this saying that I say all the time, and I heard it from somewhere, and I don't know where, but as people, we forget all the time. We have a hard time remembering, and we always think, oh, I've got a flat tire. I'm going to slash my other three. So then you have four flat tires. So what's interesting to me, it's a part of our human nature. We have to fight
Yeah,
against that.
yeah, I
What do
agree.
you
I
think?
agree. I agree. Yep. I think, yes, it's that all or nothing mentality. We're hard at the middle. We like to be on one side of the pendulum or not. And that in between part is hard because scientifically our brains want to just pick one side. We don't like the limbo, or it's a new habit we're building. And so it's hard to recognize that and be okay with it, to miss a morning and not think that all is lost,
Right.
right? Or to get that flat tire. We like our brain wants to solve a problem. And so the flat tire means we will go through a trajectory. Oh my gosh, now I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to get to work. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. I'm going to lose my house. And you're like, whoa, 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 come back.
It's
Just
just
a
a
flat
flat
tire.
tire.
So come back. We just missed one morning, or you had a donut. It's going to be just fine. But I think we forget that. And whether it's
And the human
culture.
body is phenomenal,
Mm-hmm.
and it readjusts, it
Mm-hmm.
recalibrates. And we need to mentally be kinder. Like, okay, you ate a donut. Oh, well, like move on. You beating yourself up mentally for hours and maybe days about that
Mm-hmm.
stupid donut is
Mm-hmm.
more damage to you than you
The
not
donut is
going and
gone
working out. The
and
donut's,
processed.
it's done. It's in your system. It's coming out.
Yep, yep. And 2 days later, you're still not back on your diet because you derailed it on, or not your diet, but you're still not back to where you wanted to be because you did that. Okay, so the next question,
And
go
I got
ahead.
to say one more thing. We need to be honest.
Mm,
That donut tastes really good.
yeah, you're right.
And we want things that feel good and taste good.
Yep.
And so it's so easy to be like, that just feels good,
Hmm.
period.
It does. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Okay, so time, here's one thing growing up, my dad always said, time will pass anyway. So the thing you were going to do that you don't think you have time for, or you wanted to start this job. So same thing. I think we have scarcity or abundance, and we're like, I need to lose my weight in 6 weeks because I have this trip. And if I get halfway there and I'm not to where I want to be, then forget it. Or I will, let's say you want to go back to school or you want to start something and you think, I'm 40 years old. Like my years for school was when I was in 20. But his point was time's going to pass anyways. You'll get to 60, that's 20 more years. And you'll get to 60 and think, huh, I guess I could have done it. And look where I could have been. And so the thought of time will pass anyways. So why not progress even a day at a time versus um, needing to do that 6 week crash diet or that intense workout, and rechanging that frame of mind to the slow progress because time will pass anyways. Agree? Don't agree?
Well, I think it makes takes my mind to the book Atomic Habits by James
Yeah,
Clear. And if we just change ourselves 1% every day, we're 37 times better by the end of the year.
I'm crazy.
And so, yes, the days are going to come and the days are going to go. And like when you're stuck in the trenches of parenting, it looks like they're all meshed together. It goes so fast. But I
But
think
so slow.
but but so slow. Yes. If you're in it, but now that I'm on the other end
I
of it,
know.
it's too fast.
The days are slow and the years are like a blink, you know?
Um I just think that we just have to tell our brain, look, the day's going to come, the day's going to go. And I want to care for this body that I've been given. I want to use this gift for good in my life and helping my family, my community, my everything that I'm doing. I want to be a physical person that has the ability to help and do and help myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I don't know why it's hard for us to just be like, oh, that day passed, and just let it keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Why?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think it's being in the present. So we like to fix problems, and so the past we're fixing, and the future we're planning, but we're rarely here. And I think yes, you have to do those things, but we spend way more time in those two areas than we spend on today. And I legit love the quote: "We underestimate, we overestimate what we can get done in a day, but we underestimate what we can get done over time." Right? So
Yeah.
like I will put 30 things on my list for a day, but forget to plan out the week. You know, what's the goal for the week? And then I get at the end of the day and I think, well, I didn't get it done. And so I just move to the next day and I have guilt for not getting it done. And then I have anxiety for trying to get it done tomorrow versus like, let's just stay today. And so I think being present and just focusing on the now really helps you not have that anxiety or depression, or it helps your brain be able to focus on what you're doing. That makes sense at
Yeah.
all?
And I think too that we get a dopamine hit as women from accomplishing things.
Yeah.
Like
That
I
that
am a list
check.
maker.
Yep, the
Yes,
check on the to-do list.
I am a total list maker. And I have to tell you, when I go to bed at night and I look at that list and I see, I'm like, I am a good person.
Ah.
But that's not that's not how we're graded. That's not how
Mm-mm.
it is. That's
Mm-mm.
ridiculous.
Mm-mm.
Like we just need to try just 1% every day to get a little bit better about something. And
Mm-mm.
things happen that stop us from accomplishing certain things, and that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
agree. Okay, do I have any other questions? Um, Willpower. Why isn't willpower enough sometimes?
Well, I honestly don't think I believe in willpower. I don't. I don't, there's just so many things going on in our world and with food and with emotions and with life. I, it drives me crazy when people say, well, you just don't have enough willpower. What? Like, let's go ahead and throw into these
Shame.
things seriously. What do
Yeah.
you think about willpower?
Yeah, same thing. I think as you were just talking, I think it's the beach ball analogy. I think um, what's keeping us from accomplishing something is stuck in this beach ball. And willpower, it's our thoughts, our feelings, things maybe we haven't recognized yet, and that's okay. But
Mm-hmm.
instead of like opening it up and just letting the air out and letting it deflate, we sit on it with willpower and we hold it all underneath, but eventually like it
It pops
starts
up.
popping up, right? And they say by science, they say it lasts, I can't remember, 2 weeks or 28 days, or they say 28 days is what it takes to make a new habit and make it stick. But then I'm like, what if you quit on 29? Like that seems like, if I don't make it 28 days, then I won't be able to accomplish that habit. But let's not go that extreme. That's not going to be the same for every single human being. I think willpower is just white knuckling through it, gritting our teeth and pushing through. And that's why a lot of diets and exercise programs last 6 weeks, or they have a boot camp that's for 4 weeks, because they know at the end of that 4 weeks, your brain will give out. And whatever you were sitting on top of that ball will pop you off, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes people will have a cheat weekend or a week off, and then they get back on. And I just think that, yeah, like you said, it's adding shame into the equation that fills up the ball and makes it more powerful. And it isn't a capability of having willpower or not, or being disciplined or not. I think it's just recognizing what you want to do and changing some thoughts, and then being present each day and working towards it.
Yeah, I was just talking to a woman who went through gastric bypass and she gained back 40 pounds. And she's like, I'm so mad at myself. I just don't have enough willpower. And I'm like, wait,
Mm,
no, I totally disagree with that. Can you
hmm
tell me about the last 2 years and what you've gone through?
hmm
Mother of seven, started to work full time, has two weddings that just came up this summer, COVID. I mean, you name it. She just went through all this stuff and she is beating herself up because she felt like she doesn't have enough willpower. And that's why she's gained 40 pounds back.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just was like, I think you're being way too hard on yourself. And if you want to change and you want to drop some of that excess weight you've gained, that's different. But you just beating yourself up and being mad at yourself, it just is going to lead to failure and disaster.
More 40 pounds,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Because if you feel bad, then you want to eat to feel
To
better.
make you feel better. Exactly.
All it is
Exactly.
is I feel like weight is a tool to tell you, oh, maybe something's going on in my emotions that I'm not quite realizing.
Yep.
Because if you feel like I'm fine, everything's fine, but you're just eating when you don't want to, maybe everything isn't fine.
And it's on the extreme too. People that don't eat, that have
Yeah.
eating disorders, it's also an indicator when food is depleted from their life that there's
hmm
something going on. So
hmm
either way,
Yeah.
it's an indicator.
Right. I agree. Okay. Any other questions we want to cover?
Why is this the time for us to do why wait?
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to get spiritual about it, because both Beth and I, like literally on the same weekend, I was driving home from a weekend with my friend, and I called her, and she had been having the exact same thoughts. Like, I get goosebumps talking about it, but we both had felt this like super strong urgency that like we had to do something to help women. That there were women struggling alone a lot. It was during, coming out of COVID. We'd been segregated for years, um, scared to share opinions, scared to unite, to make people mad. And we were just kind of all in this fearful place, yet we felt that it didn't need to be that way. And so we talked a lot. We ran some ideas through, and thought of a women's organization and kind of ran that through as well. And although that is still needed, we also felt like, you know what? You and I have the skills and tools to reach a lot of women. And if we haven't been given the life experiences we've been given to help others, then what on earth are they for? If we can use what we've learned and use our talents and abilities for teaching and really caring about other women to help, then we have to do it. And so we did it. We're doing it. And there's no better time than now, right? And I put the quote on our website because I really like it came to my mind as I was building it, and she believed she could, so she did. Like I did have I really believe that's how I live. I've had people so many times say, "Why? How do you know how to do that? Why do you what? You know how to do that too?" And it was like 6 months ago that I was like, I literally don't know if I've ever questioned. There's things I don't want to do, and I've gotten good at knowing like what my I don't want to do that. I don't care, right? Like I don't want to play soccer. I don't want to do sports. There's some things I don't want to do, if there's something I want to do, it's usually because you have been given the capacity for it
Yeah.
and you should pursue it. And so I think that you just do it. And that's where we're at. And Beth has her own thoughts.
You know what? It's just time.
Yep.
Um, we've been, I mean, with my 6 kids, 4 are gone. I only have 2 at home, and my youngest is 12. So I've been doing, I got my certification in coaching December 3 years ago. Um, and I have been just slowly working with different women and working with different groups. And in my life, I've been serving in the church, in our church, for since I
Life.
was 20 years old. Yeah, since I
12.
went to college. I mean, yeah, truly.
Yeah.
And I love women. I want to help. I want to do anything I can. I am not an expert.
Yeah.
I
I am though.
I don't
Okay.
have the answers. I don't have all the answers, but you do, as you have them within you. You just need a little guidance and a little teaching, and you will be able to take off. And I feel like Julie and I have that ability to do that together. The
Mhm.
combination of the two of us really combines our strengths and weaknesses. And I think we're ready to do it.
Yeah. Good question. Let's do it. Why wait? Stop waiting.
That's right. We're not waiting,
We're not
we're
waiting.
doing it.
We're going to practice what we preach.
Yeah. And I have to tell you about the name. So literally, people, this whole sisters coaching business together, Julie, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
2 3 weeks?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. No, maybe more. 4 weeks?
well, Labor Day, and
Okay,
it's the
you're right
20th, so
before Labor
17
Day.
days.
17 days, people. And we have got our course manual. Julie's been working on the website. We've got our documents, our papers, our worksheets.
All the
Uh,
really hard, unfun stuff.
we put together 2 podcast episodes for our White Weight podcast episode. And honestly, when Julie and I decided to do this, it was my task to try to figure out different names that we would both agree upon that we like. And it was getting frustrating because I was trying to think of something that we would both feel good about and that would be helpful to women and kind of be a catchphrase that they could think, yeah, why am I waiting? But anyway, it didn't come to me. And then all of a sudden, it literally was like, why wait, Beth? And I was like, Julie, because we could play it on the word why wait in regards to our body weight. And so doing this why wait, it's literally coming together, and we're accomplishing things and learning things as we're doing it. And we're hoping that that same process will happen for you as you work with us through our 7-week course and one-on-one coaching and all that we are trying to do here to better the world, better your lives.
Amen. Hallelujah. I agree.